Hey, are you smarter than the weatherman? That used to be a joke. The weatherman was ridiculed for being wrong more times than right. But you know what? The weathermen have learned some new tricks, have some new tools and systems, and they are right now over 80% of the time. Can you say the same for your decision making? Do you have a process that gets you the best possible decision more than 80% of the time? If not, you need to stay and watch this tool for success, the Decision Matrix. It will help you move more from your top line to your bottom line, creating that lifestyle that you wanted when you first started your business. That's right. This tool will help you make the best possible decisions from a panorama of choices. You'll be amazed at how much more confident you are and how much more easily decisions will come to you using this tool. Hey, let's get started and jump into the Decision Matrix. To move your business from surviving to thriving, you'll need the right tools. This Decision Matrix is just such a tool. With this, you'll be able to make better, more confident decisions. If you don't have this tool downloaded already, down in the description, there's a link to it. Click the link. Yes, I'm going to ask you for your email so I know where to send it. Get it, open it up, and follow along. Or at least make sure you get it at the end of this presentation. Now, I'm going to back out because you've got better things to do than look at me. Let's take a look at this worksheet. You can see here in the worksheet, we have a decision or the problem we're going to solve. Today we're going to work about making a decision on a purchase. This could be used anytime you have to decide between multiple solutions for a problem, because there are very few problems that have a perfect solution. And many times you're going to come up with several solutions. So the first thing we want to do is put in what our problem or need is. In this case, I've said it's to replace my current video setup with something different so I can do better online streaming. You would put up here what yours is. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in criteria. And this is probably the most important step. When we put in criteria, I've shown you here there's room for 10 items to go in. That may be a little excessive. You may be a little too far into the weeds at this point. But it's only for an example. You're going to need at least 5 or 6 though to help you differentiate. You could use this for buying a car, buying a house. You could use it again picking between different solutions, or between different schools for your kids, or between different business service providers. So here I've pre-filled this with a few things. For example, we have here, I want the price to be less than $1,200. Now you'll notice down here in the bottom, I have a note that says an 8 for a price is $1,200. A 10 means that it's below the $1,200 point. What that signifies to me when I'm doing it is having a cost less than $1,200 is more important than spending my entire budget. Here we have used for standalone videography, connect to the computer directly with an additional interface. And if I need that interface, that's going to push up my price, which means when I'm considering the price point, I've got to go back and adjust my number 1 rating. Okay. Down here, and let's follow these ratings right now. So I've pre-populated these saying 10 for me, price was very, very important. Down here I have a 1. Now, most of the time I wouldn't recommend that you have things that have a 1 because they have such little value, such little impact on the total score. They're really not worth having. However, there is a benefit. If you and your team, and you're doing this with others, cannot agree on some items to put in here, instead of letting the whole process bog down, slow down, go ahead and put those items in, but give them a low ranking, meaning you have acknowledged the person's desire to have those in there. However, you and the team don't believe, in total, even the person who suggested, that it's a critical thing, but it should be considered. So give it a score somewhere between 1 and 5. Maintain the harmony in your team. Now, once we've done this, we can go ahead here and put up our first solution. And our first solution here, what we've called camera A, Who knows what it is? But we said here that camera A, the price is less than $1,200. Now remember, a 10 means it's substantially less than the $1,200 price point. Okay? Videography, it doesn't work well outside. It's got a good review, so we gave it a 7. Again, these numbers are somewhat subjective. They're very hard to measure in some cases, and that's why you need the decision matrix, because oftentimes it's hard to differentiate between a number of subjective and objective factors to come to the right answer. I've used this tool numerous times with clients when it comes to hiring someone, because we've all been there. You've interviewed a person and you really like these 3 attributes about that person. Someone else walks in with a totally different skill set. Wow, they are great at this. Well, how do you make the best choice? The only way is to create a uniform scale to measure their performance against. Once you've done that, it's easier to evaluate them. Hopefully this will help. What we've done now is we have scored each of these items on a scale of 1 to 10. And you'll see down here, the tripod socket screw, this one has both, and it gets a 10, but it's not going to change the day. What you'll do then is, in the extended score here, you'll take that, and you will now multiply it by the importance. And you'll see here that now we get 100 for the price, because that was very important to me. And we'll add these scores up, and we'll come up with the actual number of 343. Now you may be wondering at this point where this 700 came from. Well, the 700 came from, if I got perfect scores on each of those attributes, what is the best score I could have? And that best score is 343 as 700. So I didn't quite score 50%. And my note here says that requires a computer adapter cord. So I need to buy an extra cable. So it is going to be maybe $50, $20, whatever that cable has to be. Well, let's take a look then at what solution 2 could be. Solution 2 then, or camera B, all right, we now see we have a price here, and I'm going to bow out of the picture again. You'll see we now have a 9 on the price, meaning it's less than $1,200. And probably when you put a price, that's one of the more tricky ones to get right, because you have to do a little bit of mental juggling to figure out how to score price appropriately. You'll see other ones here. Ooh, got a horrible review on Amazon. It doesn't connect to my computer without some other interface. It's just not really good, but you'll see it's got 4K filming capability. Yet, in spite of those, it still scored a 375 because it scored well on some of the higher items. So right now, this would almost kind of be a toss-up, and it's a desktop camera. So it really doesn't work well for my outside needs, and you can see that reflected in its score there. Moving on now to solution number 3, you'll see how this system helps you differentiate between multiple criteria, provide some organization to them. And you'll see here on the price, you'll see this one was $1,200, was at my budget, because it only scored an 8. That means it was right at that $1,200 price point, or very close to it. So I could not give it a 10, I had to give it an 8 because it didn't fit well. So you see how that inverse, how that works? What might have pushed it up is the fact that I need that microphone dongle. And it's kind of, let me get out of the way here. There, I'm out of your way. You can see here how it required that dongle. Well, that might have pushed my price up to that $1,200 limit. Nonetheless, at $1,200, it does a great job on standalone videography. It had a great reviews, better than the others. It'll connect directly to my computer without the use of other cables, boxes, saving me money. Also, it does 4K filming. It has interchangeable lenses, something the others didn't have. But could you have actually juggled more than 2 factors? I doubt it. Using the decision matrix will help you make better, faster, more confident decisions. You'll know you've weighed the critical factors, You'll know that you have prioritized them, and you'll know that objectively you've made the best possible decision. This also helps avoid arguments within your team, co-workers, because everyone can look at the sheet and hopefully they could all come to the same conclusion. Not always, but it's certainly much better than it appearing to be a dictated solution from you. Hey, when you're serious about moving more from your top line to your bottom line, the Business Engineering Consortium is here to help you. Drop your comments below. What helped you in this video? What things would you like to see done differently in the future? What things you need us to talk about and discuss with you? We have several other tools we're going to talk about in this decision-making series, so stay tuned for those. And to do that, hit that like button, the subscribe button, so you'll know when we have published our next one, and get on board. Because again, we're all about moving more from that top line to your bottom line, creating lifestyle for you. Stop surviving and start thriving. I'll catch you in the next video.